When taking your ACE psychology exams, you're going to have to evaluate and apply the concepts of methodology from all of the studies to your answers. If you want to know how to do this, this is the video for you. First, you want to ask, are the measures reliable? When the study goes to collect its data, you need to ask yourself, are the tools that are being used to measure the data something that you can count on, something that is consistent? Are the researchers using that tool in a consistent way? Is that tool objective or is it subjective in the way that it measures? All of those things are going to matter in reliability of a study. Next, you want to ask, is the study valid? Does it test what it's supposed to test? And some of the questions that you want to ask for this is the study in a setting that is natural to the participant, or are they in a setting that has been manipulated somehow? If we want to know if behavior or results of a study are valid, it's really important to know the setting of the experiment, because if we have really low ecological validity, then we also know that demand characteristics are probably a lot higher. And if we can't count on knowing that the participant's behavior was natural, then that's going to make the study way less valid. Next, we want to know if the study is generalizable. This is going to depend on things like ecological validity, sample size. If the sample is all women from a condensed area in the same age range, then we basically can't say that the study can be applicable to anybody but those types of women. We also want to know if a study can be replicated. The things that are going to be important here are things like standardized procedures, having good controls, and you guessed it, you're basically going to find these in a lab experiment. Now, you're also going to need to know how to suggest ways to improve experiments using things like the methods, the designs, the tools, the samples, maybe even part of the procedure. To improve the methods, we are going to talk about things like laboratory, field experiments, questionnaires, and interviews. When we talk about designs, we're talking about independent measures versus repeated measures design. Which one is going to be better and why? How many participants are we going to need for each type? In order to talk about or change the sample, we have to decide what way we're going to sample participants and which one is better for the study. Is it the best opportunity where we can get maybe a larger sample size, or a volunteer experiment where we can get a really precise type of population like left-handed high school football quarterbacks? An opportunity sample is going to be less generalizable because they all come from a concentrated area, and there's probably going to be something that they all have in common, individual differences. But a volunteer study could also be less generalizable because those people usually have some type of motivation involved, and it's usually a select type of population. So they all have at least one thing in common. Now, when we're talking about the tools, we may want to input some inter-rater reliability into our study. Maybe we want to counterbalance some order effects. Or maybe we want to talk about the procedure. Maybe you'll have to improve validity by getting rid of demand characteristics, or make a task more realistic. We all know that Andrade's study used a lot of questionnaires in a laboratory setting. So the ecological validity of this is going to be low, but I have a way that we can improve this. After the second round of questioning, after we've already introduced the love group, we let all the participants go into a cafeteria, and it can be buffet style or serve yourself, and we have asparagus available as one of the vegetables. And then we do a covert observation to see who actually chooses asparagus when left alone in their own environment. Make sure to follow me for more aspsychology.